Here's an idea. Momo Yaoyorozu can finally join Midoriya, Todoroki, Ida, Uraraka, and not Bakugo as fleshed out students of Class 1A after she was finally able to rise to the occasion. Here's the evidence. To start, let's not pretend like Yaoyorozu's character in Season 1 was anything more than being perfect. She got into the school by recommendation alone, earned first in the quirk assessment tests, and essentially taught All Might's classes for him. She held down the number 1 seat in the class, became vice representative, and showed why she deserved both titles while at the USJ by guiding Denki and Kyoka to victory through quick strategization and execution. Yaoyorozu was perfect. Season 2's UA Sports Festival wasn't very kind to Momo, but that's an inevitability for a tournament arc with 20 plus characters. There will always be a main rivalry, or two, and only a few supporting characters who get their well-deserved backstories. Yaoyorozu just got left out. It wasn't as if she didn't do well. 17th in the race, 1st in the human cavalry battle, 9th overall aren't bad considering she was up against the best the cast has to offer, but it was still nowhere near her standards. As was said in Yaoyorozu Rising, Momo lost a distinct amount of confidence in herself the moment that Todoroki took control during the human cavalry battle. He guided the team with grace and confidence, earning them first place and putting them in the best position possible going into the final round. Although her powers were used constantly during the event, they were never truly under her control. It was as if she was only a pawn in Todoroki's game of chess, and she was being used and abused however he saw fit in order to achieve victory for the team. And since Yaoyorozu values perfection above all else, she went along with it. After going from a team to a solo trial, she immediately lost. If this were the only problem, she could have overcome the loss in due time, but after seeing Todoroki do so well for countless rounds to follow, her confidence was shattered. 17th on her own, but first with Todoroki at the helm? An overwhelming loss in a 1v1, but an astounding victory in a team fight? Given her mentality, her reaction was honestly inevitable. Sure, she was still number 1 in the class, and sure, she was still vice rep, but what did that matter in a fight? How would that make her a hero? If she had to rely on someone else to guide her to a win, how would she ever become the everything hero Creati? Yaoyorozu came out of the sports festival in need of an incredible pick-me-up and hoped that her internship would be the thing to help. She tried to hand-tailor the internship to help her grow and flourish into a full hero, but it seemingly ran counterintuitive to her plan in every way. To see how, I feel it necessary to bring up the show's reaction for introducing internships in the first place. To make up for the hero skills that could not be taught in class, the internships were a way for the characters to grow in their weakest fields without relying on teachers to help them for once. Midoriya was strong in heroic intuition, but weak in quirk use, so his internship helped him develop full cowling. Ida was strong in quirk use, but weak in heroic intuition, so his internship helped him establish a stable hero code. Yaoyorozu was strong in nearly everything, but weak in implementation and final decision making, or what changes a brilliant person with a great quirk into a hero. Yet, her internship seemed to actively remove her from what would make her a hero. Instead of giving her practice to develop these skills and overall confidence, she just became a model. Instead of being an icon because of her abilities, she was just a showgirl because of her looks. It belittled her. She felt like this experience re-established that she was no more than a pretty face with an interesting quirk and had lost the energy to fight it. Going into final exams, it was obvious that even though she could hold down the number 1 class ranking with almost no problem at all, she wasn't satisfied. Jumping at the first opportunity to help her classmates study, she tried at any point to make the biggest impact that she could, but knew it wasn't enough. Up to this point, Yaoyorozu's character progression marked her confidence in herself. She started off infallible and unbeatable, and ended up belittled and pessimistic. Obviously, this changed in Yaoyorozu Rising. There she was, teamed again with Todoroki, the person who she believed carried her to the final bracket of the UA Sports Festival, the classmate she perceived to have the biggest and most versatile quirk, and the partner she needed to guide her yet again. She started off prepared to be submissive, willingly becoming a pawn yet again in Todoroki's game. Thinking she couldn't be of any use at all under the already proven hero, she went along with Todoroki's plan even though she recognized a number of faults in it. Yaoyorozu had no trouble picking out the shortcomings. She knew that Todoroki was used to using his power in a grandiose and flashy way to achieve success, but wouldn't be able to when matched up against Aizawa. She knew that Aizawa was paired with them for this exact reason, and would be prepared to stop the quirks instantaneously. And she knew Todoroki wasn't putting her to full use. She knew these things in her heart, but thought otherwise in her brain. Yaoyorozu kept telling herself that Todoroki always succeeded, and that she always failed. She believed that the correlation between classroom and real world was non-existent, and being first in class meant nothing. She believed Todoroki's strength grew exponentially at his internship, while hers dropped to its lowest level yet. What she believed ran counterintuitive to what she knew, and she was stunned. Yaoyorozu went along with Todoroki's plans without any fine details and even without true quirk utilization. She did this, but things went very wrong. Todoroki got captured, incapacitated, and abandoned. She was all on her own and unable to think of a path to success. It was in this moment, with Yaoyorozu abandoning Todoroki, ignoring her instincts, dismissing her plans, and completely forgetting about her quirk, that she believed she had failed. Failed at the exercise test, failed in execution, and failed as a hero. And it was during this failure that Yaoyorozu was almost fully paralyzed. However, as with all successful heroes, she overcame adversity and sprung into action when she was needed the most. She shoved the paralyzation onto her opponent by spraying the flash grenades and finally got to work. Yaoyorozu's plan overcame all of the shortcomings of Todoroki's. Where Todoroki planned to run from the highly mobile, highly aggressive Aizawa, Yaoyorozu planned to use his mobility and aggression to bait him into a trap. Where Todoroki went for a quirkless strategy, Yaoyorozu used all available resources to earn her success. Where Todoroki completely ignored his partner's dead weight, Yaoyorozu's plan would only work with both working together. And, well, we know how this turned out. Todoroki used his giant ice wall as a diversion for Yaoyorozu to create all the necessary tools for capture. They lured Aizawa up close by using blankets to cover themselves, and when he approached, she sprung her trap with her complex molecule bandages and Todoroki's barely controllable fire to capture her teacher. While she was successful, Momo inevitably began to dwell on the singular moment in which she flubbed, and almost completely failed the capture. Aizawa, realizing how far Momo has come, ensured her that her plan would have been a guaranteed win regardless, and she teared up. Finally, Yaoyorozu realized that she has all the necessary traits of a hero. Her plan-making is fast, all-encompassing, and triumphant. Her quirk is versatile and can fit for any task at hand. Her drive is not to be ignored, and her stable heroic code keeps her on a righteous path. Most importantly, her intellect ties everything together, allowing plans to be developed and implemented seamlessly, as even her quirk relies on her ability to pull molecular structures off the top of her head as quickly as possible. Now she can confidently pose as a hero, knowing that it's not her pretty face on display, but instead her heroism in its purest form. So I'll say it again. Momo Yaoyorozu is finally rising to the occasion and going beyond. Plus!